Hello everybody and welcome to a list video here playing board games. Dunwich week is behind us and Eric and I have been recording some of Eric's Innsmouth blind run today. And Eric's been having such a fun time with the Investigator that may or may not show up on this list. And I thought this was a good time that Eric's now played enough to have this be the topic for one of these. I don't know if Eric might know this, but people who are watching this video right now might not know. But every year at Christmas, we do our Investigator tier list.
Right? Oh, sick.
Travis, Brent, and I each do our own separate one. We've been doing it for the last, 4 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And everyone asks, when's Eric's Investigator tier list? And my response to that is, Eric hasn't seen all these Investigators played or even played them themselves. So my answer is always not for a while. Mm-hmm. But you've now started playing enough that we can start doing a top 5 Investigator tier list, which I think is pretty exciting to do. Because now you have some that you don't like, some that you do like, and we can kind of go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the Investigator. Well, I'm going to introduce the Investigator and then throw it to you to kind of talk in, and then I'm going to just jump in on the conversation.
I want to offer something, potentially.
Okay.
We should do a tier list of what I think are the best Investigators of the ones I haven't played yet.
That's a great idea.
We should do a tier list where it's only the ones I haven't played.
I need to write that down because it's the only way I remember things my whole life.
We call that an external hard drive.
Tier list. Guessing power. Strength of Investigators not played. Look at that. You guys just got a whole new Sunday video coming up. Quiet, phone! Alright, Eric, let's see what your first Investigator is. It's none other than Stella Clark.
So one thing I do want to say about this collection is that at this stage in my playing of ARKHAM, I feel that my top 5 Investigators are, minus one of them, the easiest Investigators to play. And I'm really excited for that to change down the road. Mm-hmm. As anybody who's been following me playing ARKHAM knows and has briefly watched our magic cubes that we used to do, I'm one of 2 types of decks.
Yeah.
I am red go fast win.
Yeah.
Or I am mono black kill myself by trying to combo too hard.
Yeah.
And I much prefer mono black lose the game by trying to combo too hard.
Yeah.
So Stella is, in my opinion...
I just want to, before you go on, I just want to say, I actually think of your list, only one that falls in that definition. I think the majority of the Investigators you've chosen are actually high, complex Investigators.
Oh! Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about that.
But I think it's a very interesting thing about ARKHAM because you can approach these Investigators differently, but their individual kits can still be quite complicated. But you can approach them in a way that is a little bit more basic. Sorry, Dad, go for this.
No, that's fair. So in my opinion, Stella Clark is in my top 5. She just makes the cut. I really, really like the fact that you can fail a skill test to take an additional action and that there is an entire deck build around getting to a point where failing that first action or failing one of the actions on your turn is something that you plan for, is something that you test for, and then you gain benefits. So if anyone remembers me playing my Stella Clark deck, with Justin's advice, I was running a bunch of cards that are like, you want to fail the first action, or the first action is harder, and then the next action is easier, and then easier.
You're playing Quick Learners, 2 copies of Quick Learners.
Yeah.
And then, you were taking advantage of them by just, getting the more actions. You're also playing things like Dumb Luck to some great effect. That's the evade fail. You had some Look What I Founds. Mm-hmm. And then I think, you were just a kind of a pretty standard survivor, shroud reduction Investigator on top of everything else.
Yeah. And so I really enjoyed her, but she felt very simple to play. Very once you knew what you were doing with that ability, once you knew that you were playing around intentionally failing a skill test and effectively getting 4 actions, knowing and building a deck just around the idea of how can I turn this failure into a success, or how can I turn this failure into extra value later on in the turn, just felt really easy. It felt like a very clear way to play.
Yeah.
So I really like her, but I do feel she's, if you know that you want to play around that ability, she's great.
So I imagine one thing that you do want to do with ARKHAM is keep trying new Investigators, right? But are like these top 5 investigators ones that you would like to like revisit? Is that a big reason, or was it like more like just that you had fun playing them?
There are 3 of these that I'd like to revisit. Stella Clark is not one of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, let's go to number 4 here, which is Joe Diamond, the private investigator with his little hunch deck, and you played this in Dark Matter.
I did. So there's a part of me that wonders how much of that was Dark Matter itself and the fun and the joy I had in the campaign, because I really enjoy Joe Diamond's hunch deck. Apparently I played it very badly, just so that everyone knows. And I did. I struggled with the triggers, and I put cards in that are apparently not very common.
I mean, I was playing a Joe Diamond deck recording this morning, and I only used 3 hunches out of it in the whole scenario. So it sometimes happens with Joe.
Yeah. I really like his stat line. I think for me, the thing that makes Joe Diamond the most fun is a 4-fist, 4-book.
Yeah.
I would love, if I could, to one day to find a way to play a Joe Diamond that focused on ammunition and guns. And big guns, like the elephant gun or whatever that thing is.
Unfortunately, because of, I mean, there is ways you could do it with combo decks, but they're outside of his card pool.
No,
he's
that's
a
too bad.
But there's ways you can do it.
Yeah.
There is ways.
I think there could be a lot of fun in playing a Joe Diamond that goes hard into flexing clues and into weapons, but has limited resources in both.
Yeah.
And so really focuses around ammunition.
Who was with Joe in Dark Matter?
It wasn't... Oh, was it Min?
No, you played Min in Dream Eaters,
That's
and I
right.
played Winifred.
Yeah.
Who was with it? Was it Trish?
Maybe?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't either. I remember Joe, though. It was whoever threw the lantern at people. Does that help you at all?
So it was a survivor, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Was it Yorick? I don't think so.
I don't think you played Yorick.
No,
with
you
me.
played Yorick.
Yeah, I played Yorick.
I have to think on this. But yeah,
That's
keep
fair.
talking about Joe.
But yeah, so I like Joe's stat line. I like Joe's stat line. I like Joe's health. I like Joe's ability. Joe just feels like a feel-good character. As long as you understand how the hunch deck works, and you're putting... Okay, hot take. Even if you're putting bad cards into the hunch deck, it's still fine because Joe Diamond has great stats and great hit points. I feel like Joe Diamond is a great complex character for a new player to fail at the worst case scenario. As you're building your hunch deck, you might want to sub parts in and out of it, or you might want to think about that down the road and learn some combos and learn where the power of that comes from. And I think that Joe Diamond is just a really good beginner-friendly character for that reason.
I think that's a fair point, that he's like, if I was going to give a newer player the step up in complexity, he's a good one for that.
Yeah.
Because he is very good stats for your turn. And then like in the Mythos phase, it's like it's kind of like the opposite of Stella. Where Stella teaches that it's okay to fail during the Mythos phase because you have stats that are okay at it and you get rewarded for it. Joe kind of teaches you that it's okay to fail at the Mythos phase because you can go fast enough that it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel that there's a lot to Joe's kit that you can play around. And so for a new player, having all those options as well as the safety net of an 8/6 feels really good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Is he one of the ones that you want to retry?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'd love to do a guns deck with him and see what I could do with that.
There's a really cool deck build out there that's called like Octopus Joe. Because you can get 8 hand slots, and you just like load it with like everything. Yeah, that's a pretty fun one.
That's sick.
All right, next one we got here is Charlie Kane, the politician, which you played in Dream Eaters on the Spider side.
I did.
Yeah.
So I would love to play Charlie Kane again. Because I played entirely a meme Charlie Kane deck. I was not playing to win. I was expecting it to lose. I was expecting it to bomb. And Charlie Kane's combination of Charlie's abilities and the additional ally slots was so strong that I was succeeding and getting ahead regardless, because I was playing a petting zoo. I was intentionally running only animals and limiting myself that way.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was really strong. In a campaign that I don't remember being particularly nice to us either. And so I felt that Charlie Kane really showed how effective he was.
Yeah.
And despite his terrifying stat line, I really, really want to try him again with better allies designed to actually play into his benefits and his skills.
The nice thing about Charlie Kane is that he has like a million different builds, like a million different builds you can take with him, with like, because his deck building's so open, because you get allies, all allies, but you get like 2 classes level 0 to 2. So there's different like directions you could take with him to like find the Charlie that you want to play with. Mm-hmm. So I think that there's like, I've only played Charlie once, and I played him in a sealed run where I was a sealed challenge. So I've never actually built a Charlie deck. I really should, because he does seem really fun. And it's like, it's really enjoyable to like look at your one stat, and then you look down and suddenly you have 9 in it from exhausting your allies. And you're like, I'm also getting all the value from these allies. So it's a pretty powerful effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think he'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to go to number 2 here? So this is Silus Marsh, who Eric is currently playing in our Innsmouth campaign. So we're gonna try to keep this spoiler free as possible and kind of just go on vibes and feel of the character.
Yeah, so I love Silus Marsh from what I've played of him so far. I'm playing this version, which and I'm not taking any of the additional options from Silus.
Yeah, the extra signature and weakness. I forget what they're called. They're not like replacements. It's the other one, but yeah.
Yeah, like the navigational compass and the something of the deep.
Yeah.
I would be interested in trying that one day, but it's not one of the decks I necessarily want to build. I'm having a ton of fun with Silus Marsh because I'm building and playing a very low to the ground Silus.
Yeah.
I have like 2 things I spend money on ever.
Yeah.
And then everything else is just Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
It's just Sledgehammer. I'm just playing Silus Marsh Sledgehammer. And it feels really good. It feels really fun to finally play a Guardian and to not feel, even with an item that costs 3 actions, it never feels like I'm wasting my turn.
Yeah.
Which is shocking to me. The few times I've played the Guardian, I've played the Thug on our team, I've often felt sometimes like I was falling behind or not able to keep up. But Silus Marsh plus Sledgehammer just feels, and I guess with Grizzled as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eric loves Grizzled.
I love Grizzled.
Yeah.
I just feel like I have an answer to when you need help with the Mythos deck. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have an answer to just about every problem that comes up, and the answer is always hit it with a stick.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful feeling and a very powerful way to play. I would highly recommend this to any new player. And to, build something cheap, low to the ground, focus on your ability to recur, play a Sledgehammer.
So I think a big thing of what makes it so... what makes it work for Silus to feel like you're not falling behind is the fact that if you fail the test, you actually don't lose a resource, right? You can just like bring it back to your hand and try again. Silus, as you know, is actually my favorite investigator in this game. He's been my favorite since I first played him. The skill slinging style is just so fun to do. Mm-hmm. And it's very powerful. It's very fragile. There's a lot of people I've seen who've come in and been like, I've tried Silus and it all fell apart. And I think a big thing is what's important when you're learning Silus is to do what you are doing, which is just, I play 2 assets and then everything else defends or advances the game by killing through Silus' method of skill slinging, right? Because Eric's doing great in the Innsmouth campaign.
I actually just realized in this conversation that I think I've been cheating in the Innsmouth game, especially in the last 2 scenarios. The hook. I'm supposed to pay the cost when I play it, aren't I?
Not when you discard it. The cost for that one is discarding from hand.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a very nice. Yeah,
it's very fun.
They're cool. So Eric's talking about the hand hook, anchor chain, and nautical charts.
No, the hand hook and the anchor chain are the only 2 I'm running.
Oh, but there is one. I'm just talking for like that context.
Yeah.
I think it's nautical charts. But that one has a mode where you can discard it from hand to trigger it, but you do not need to pay the cost to do that. The cost is discarding from hand.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I find that the way to play Silus and have fun is to have 1 or 2 assets that actually cost money. Have a bunch of weapons that are kind of discardable or multi-purpose, and then just grind out value.
Yeah. His stat line is also really nice. Like, he's a little bit weak in terms of his brain, right? But there's a lot of tools in this kit that you can take advantage of that. I'll bring a Silus in the future too, so you can kind of see like a different flavor of Silus as well.
I mean, okay, spoilers, but there is one scenario where I went down to like 2 maximum sanity.
Yeah.
And I was still fine.
Yeah.
Survivor has all the things you need to make up for your weaknesses as Silus, and you don't need to make up for that much.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, good. I probably won't play him again anytime soon, but I'm really enjoying him.
Yeah. All right, next one we got here is Luke Robinson as number 1.
Best character in the game, no questions asked. I love Luke Robinson. I drew a little smiley face on him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge fan of the Hellraiser series, even the bad ones. So the fact that you get a dream box that you open to teleport between walls, I'm like, yeah, I'm the Cenobite. His stat line, I'm increasingly learning, not that great. But I think that Luke Robinson's ability to hop around locations, Luke Robinson's ability to play into those locations, I think Luke Robinson's weakness is kind of sick. I think that's really fun. I am always going to love the weird, janky, does something sideways to the rest of the game character.
Yeah.
And Luke Robinson's fabulous for that. I would love to play him again, having a little bit more skill.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing. It's going to open up. You're going to be like, what the hell? Right? Like, he's... That's like why I think when I said at the start, like... So, Stella, pretty easy. Joe has a very high ceiling for building the hunch deck. Charlie, just the whole gameplay loop is very high. Silas, when to commit, when to pull back, how to build your deck. And then Luke is like... the rules breaker and like having to understand those rules to get like the full potential. So like while they're all easy to like grasp, they have like such high ends or like structural integrity that is so important to understand. That is a very fun statement because I think that like
Luke is the only one I consider complicated of this list.
I think he's the most complicated. I mean, I actually think Charlie is harder to play, but Luke is harder to really take advantage of, if that makes sense.
I would love to learn the best way to play Luke Robinson, maybe even play him 2 or 3 more times, because I assume that the next time I play him I will bomb, because I will think I'm building the perfect Luke deck, and then I will not succeed at it. But I would love to one day play a Luke Robinson that ends up feeling as good as Silus Marsh has in Innsmouth. I would like to see what happens when a Luke Robinson is really firing on full cylinders, and just affecting the game state the way that he can.
So my advice for you and anyone who wants to really grind out and learn Luke Robinson, you have to look up the turn structure and memorize the lightning bolt windows. Sick. That's like the key to doing it. That's like the first step, and then start looking at all the events and start asking yourself, what happens if I play this when I'm not actually there, right? Those are like the 2 things that you need to like start doing to unlock what this guy can really do.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start.
The idea of also wandering around these games in a golden bathrobe
is very fun.
Sick.
Because your Luke Robinson deck was pretty straightforward, right?
It was.
Yeah, it was just like a traditional Mystic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also should do an actual run where we build like curse decks or bless decks.
I would love that.
Luke is the best, I think, maybe second best cursed user.
I believe it.
Because of the Seeker Mystic. Daisy's probably better just because she has more book, so she can innately beat it better. But that'd be a very fun thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Good insight from Eric there, and very fun to make one of these videos with Eric. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments, and if you want to see that tier list video, that's definitely going to happen. I'm going to circle it down. We'll probably record that in 2 weeks.
I would love to. I'm going to have to go through, I'll start going through all the investigators and put together my thoughts on them.
Yeah, you can like make notes, and then we can do the tier list live when it comes to it.
Yeah, happily.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and as always, a GG's.